And we back, and we back, and we back. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Table Podcast with your boy, Michael Carter. And it is great, as always, to be back on the pod. Today is not the Penguin finale episode. It is not. Unfortunately, it is not Sunday. Sunday has not come, and we still wait for what I know will sure be a crazy finale. So, we're going to do another episode instead on news, and I'm going to also talk about another particular show that's been out there. It ended last week, and I didn't do like an episode overview show, and I didn't want to do episodes on it because I didn't really care. I wasn't excited for this particular show, and I wasn't sure what I was, if it was going to be good or not. So I had to wait it out. I had to see what my thoughts are. And I'm like, I can talk about it for a little bit. I'm not going to give a long dissertation or invest a whole episode on this show because, in my opinion, yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it, right? We'll get to it. Agatha All Along. Marvel's newest show. We're hopping right in. Marvel's newest show. Now, my issue, and this is probably, now the show performed well. From my understanding, Agatha All Along performed well. People tuned in. People were invested. Even with the Penguin being out, a competition of another show, even though they're different companies, studios, all that stuff, not a part of the Marvel realm, even though Penguin's isn't a part of the Marvel realm, it performed pretty well as far as I know. For nothing but good reception. Then again, I think Disney is a little weird about their numbers and releasing their numbers and at least releasing their viewership. So the viewership is out there somewhere, but pretty popular. Like if you go on Twitter, go on Facebook. I mean, not Facebook, but mostly Twitter and maybe even like TikTok. I'm sure there were plenty of TikToks about Agatha All Along. And I think it did ring popular with the crowd that wanted it, right? That's the thing about these new MCU, or not new MCU, but some of this MCU, this new landscape that we're entering in the MCU, they can create whatever they want to create. Like they can create a movie or a TV show based off of a specific character if they want, right? It's tricky though, because at least for movies, are you going to get your return? Is it going to be worth it? That's the question. But with a character like Agatha, it was a super popular character back when WandaVision first came out, right? Everybody remembers WandaVision. WandaVision was a hit. I thought it started off really strong, and I thought it kind of fell off a little bit towards the end, right? And so Agatha was super popular. I think my issue with the show is that I've noticed, even as popular as it was when it came out, as it was streamed and people were watching it, and you got TikToks out there, you got people tweeting about it. I think they waited way too long to release this. I think the hype of what WandaVision was, they should have moved a little faster to get this show out, in my opinion. That's just how I see it. I think that also goes into play, or that speaks into the argument of how disconjointed the MCU is right now. The Marvel Cinematic Universe does not have a flow. It just does not exist. And that's why part of my stance right now with MCU, I'm a big Marvel guy. I saw the first Iron Man in theaters. The only Marvel movie I never saw in theaters was Thor: The Dark World, which, if you've seen the movie, But I've been a big Marvel guy. I've been there every Thursday night showings, the midnight premieres. Like I was there, right? But right now it's disconjointed. And I think right now, I am not excited for the future of the MCU right now. I am not excited. I don't think Marvel and Kevin Feige, and I don't think they've given anybody any opportunity to really be excited about something, right? Sure, maybe there are people that are excited about this Agatha show. Maybe you're excited about Ironheart. I am excited about Fantastic Four, but as a whole, I do not care about the MCU like I used to anymore. The value has gone down, right? And when you hear that Blade has gone through numerous rewrites, numerous directors, and from my side of the fence, you're worried if Mahershala Ali, who's supposed to star as the guy, is going to stay on the project or he's going to leave, and you don't know what's going to happen with that. You start to lose a little patience and you start to lose faith. Deadpool and Wolverine is a highlight. Something that everybody was looking forward to, not because it was MCU, but because it was Deadpool and it was Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds on the screen at the same time, right? There's a lot of nostalgia in that mix that made people excited for that particular project. So the MCU is a little, I don't think they're in trouble, but the care level for me is just not there right now. It's just not there. Agatha does not help that. Now, Agatha is not a bad show. It is not a bad show. It's actually probably one of the best Disney Plus products that they've put out. I think you could easily put it in the top 5. I won't say top 3. I think you could put it in top 5. I think you can rank it up there in the top 5 region of Disney Plus shows. But as far as like the whole MCU scape and storytelling, it's not that great for me. But yeah, overall, Agatha is okay. It's solid storytelling. It's a solid narrative that's about Agatha. I do appreciate that they didn't try to do a lot of MCU world realm throw-ins, a lot of Easter eggs. They didn't try to throw things at you. It was a story. It was this narrative about Agatha and some others, and we got that. It focused really on that, right? So I appreciate that. I also appreciate that the story, or the show, I should say, also it's like funny. It has its cool, funny moments that I didn't really laugh out. It wasn't laugh out loud, but I was like, oh, that's silly. But it's also like a show that can get serious. It can be real. It can be authentic for you, right? But I think at the end of the series, Agatha goes on this journey, with Teen, who turns out to be Billy Maximoff, Wanda's son. It's like go through this whole journey. And I think the finale, I wanted something that would maybe not blow my mind, but I wanted something that makes me go, oh my gosh, that was incredible. I was looking for that moment at the end of the show. I don't think we got that. I thought Loki season 2, if you go to Loki season 2, the ending feels very wow. Like this is what he's going. This is what he's doing. When you think of Loki's character arc and you put it into perspective of the show, it looks beautiful, right? And even if you put it into perspective of, let's not even talk about the movies and his character arc in the movies. You think about Loki season 1, who he is, into Loki season 2, and you still put that in perspective. It's really, really good, right? That's just me. I don't think Agatha All Along really gave a paid off ending. An ending wasn't paid off. Nothing felt really like it just wasn't. I won't say it wasn't earned, but it wasn't. It was like, was this worth it? Was this worth it? Sure, if you love Agatha, sure, if you love Scarlet Witch and you love the witch aesthetic, you love witch stuff, witch trials, Salem witch trials, you love the world of witchcraft, right? Maybe this was for you. But I just think the show itself, as I watched, I said, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. The question was always with this show, when they announced this centuries ago, it felt like, what are we doing this? Why are we doing this? What's the purpose? Right? Now, as a standalone, it's a solid standalone. I will give credit where credit is due. Cinematography is great. The acting is really good too, right? And I think there are consequences. There are consequences for characters, which, to credit, there's not many MCU products or projects that really inhibit or really take on the idea of consequences and really uses consequences, what it means for death and all that stuff, right? Agatha does that. And bravo to the show for doing that, and bravo to the showrunners for doing that. But overall, just didn't do it for me. Also, my issues, one of my biggest issues is the timelines. Or not timelines, excuse me. The runtimes. The runtimes are a big problem with these shows. It's not even just Marvel shows. Sometimes it's the Star Wars shows too. Like, I don't know who at Disney needs to hear it. You gotta make this stuff 60 minutes, dude. No shorter than maybe 45. Maybe. If you're putting budget on budget into this show, which, let's see what the budget of the show is. Because my thing about it is, if you're going to spend money, make it count. Make it earned. Make it worth it for the people. Give them something. Let's see budget. Give them something, that's worth their time. Like, let's not waste time with 30-minute, 35-minute, 45-minute episodes. 40 million, right? 40 million. And it costs Loki. Loki cost 23 million. Moon Knight reportedly cost 24 million. So it was up there. Like, the budget was, it was up there. It was up there, right? So within that, make the budget count. Use each moment of that hour, right? Most TV shows are hour long. Not most. Some of them, depending on what the show is, what the story is, the format you're telling it in, most of them are either an hour or you're 25, 30 minutes, right? Take up that time. Like, I feel like these shows can use the hour. It can be worth it. Now, sure, if it's not worth it for the storytelling, okay. But I feel like after every episode from some of these Marvel shows, I'm like, dude, you could have kept going. You could have kept going, and you just decided to cut it short. Like, give me length. That makes the story even better when you can feel that space with good, meaningful stuff, right? So, Agatha All Along. If you want to check it out, go for it. Go for it and check it out. It's not a must-watch for me, right? It's kind of like right now in this space, you're thinking of Agatha and you think the Penguin. You already know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say the Penguin. The Penguin's the show to watch. It's the show to watch. You're going to get your money's worth. I had a buddy tell me that he watched half of the first episode of the Penguin. And he said he got bored. And I said, buddy, you tripping. You're tripping. Right. Penguin is one of the best shows on television. It uses up the hour. You get quality storytelling. Now, if that mafia stuff isn't for you, that's different. But Agatha All Along, it needs to eat up that time, more time, not 30 minutes, right? If I want 30 minutes, I'll go watch Abbott Elementary. That's the 30 minutes. That's 30 minutes right there, right? So, Agatha All Along. Solid, nothing special. Doesn't really do it for me overall, right? In other news, Star Wars is finally happening. We're doing a Star Wars movie. This should be very, very interesting. My issue is Simon Kinberg is attached to it. This is no disrespect to Simon at all. Simon Kinberg is he's a name. He's been attached to some stuff. He's been in this business for a minute. Writer, producer. Cool. I liked First Class was good. He didn't write that. He produced it. Sherlock Holmes. I like that one. Guy Ritchie. That's the one with Robert Downey Jr. I liked Jumper. Jumper was cool. Jumper was cool. Right? That's like late 2000s right there. This Means War was fine. Elysium was cool. Days of Future Past was great. I love Days of Future Past. He wrote and produced that. Cool. Right? He wrote and produced the 2015 Fantastic Four movie. Yeah. If you've seen it, if you know about it, it's bad. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Right? He's produced The Martian, Deadpool produced. So he's done a lot of these Fox Marvel things. Right? He didn't produce the Deadpool Wolverine movie, obviously. But he's produced some stuff. But it's weird. It's weird how people, and this again is no disrespect, how people like him, like they always find work. And, when I go on Twitter, people are instantly the reactions. I couldn't find one person that was like, let's go, I'm freaking hyped, let's do this. Each reaction is, I saw one tweet where somebody was like, I don't think Lucasfilm knows what to do with Star Wars. I saw another tweet that says, how does this guy keep getting projects? And I'm like, I'm sitting here when I saw the news, I'm like, Simon Kinberg, who's that? And then I look at his track record and I go, yeah, no. My issue is for Lucasfilm and Disney, you need to hit big with your next Star Wars movie. You need to hit big. And if you need to hit big, again, this is no disrespect to Simon Kinberg, but you don't tap a name like Simon Kinberg. You don't. If you need something big, you need something to hit. You need people to care about your franchise again, right? That's my issue with this news. It doesn't get me excited. I don't think it gets really anybody excited. Right? And again, it is absolutely no disrespect to Simon Kinberg. I actually respect that the man can keep being booked. I respect it. Doesn't mean it's always right. Doesn't mean it's always right. Right? So, I don't know what this means for Star Wars and Lucasfilms. I don't know. He's writing and he's producing it, but I think if they can get a good director, a solid director on, maybe they can make something really good out of it. Also, the issue is, too, I think what I'm noticing is that, and again, I could be wrong. I don't have any analysis from the inside, but I'm like, if he's the guy that they tap to do this new trilogy, right? It's not a follow up to Rise of Skywalker. It's not a follow up to it. But if you're tapping this guy to do it, is it because you couldn't find anybody else and he was the one that's like, yeah, I will do it. I raise my hand. I can do it. Right? I wonder if people are afraid to get involved with Star Wars right now. Like any high profile filmmaker is afraid. Right? Which I don't blame them. I do think if you get, I don't know, you get a Steven Spielberg, you maybe get a Brad Bird, you get somebody that might get it, you get them involved, you've got money, right? So, I don't know. I think The Mandalorian and Grogu, that movie, the Mandalorian movie comes out next year. And I love The Mandalorian. I did not like the latest season. Actually, no, 2026 is when the movie comes out. But I'm not really excited about this movie. I find it really hard to be excited about anything Star Wars right now. I find it really hard to be excited about. But that news, in my notes I put right here, I'm surprised I didn't even read it. I said could. That's all I put for new Star Wars. This new Star Wars news. cooked. There's no, you don't exemplify any excitement with that name with the state of Star Wars. So sorry, but that's just the way it is right now. That's just the way it is. Beyond that, Moana 2. Y'all, we are almost there. And I'm pumped. I'm excited. Big, big, big Thanksgiving week approaching. We've got Wicked. And we've got Gladiator 2. And then right after that, we got Moana 2, which is supposed to be the hit. Supposed to smash the record, 135 million in the weekend for the debut. It's going to best, they're estimating to best the record that was held by Frozen 2, right? Which is 125. And then the first Frozen opened up at 93.5 million. So, this is about to be a hit. I'm embracing for this to be, it might be better. It might be, I'm going to say better. Better is a different word. Bigger. I think it might be bigger than Wicked. It might be bigger than Wicked. And I say that because I think for a lot of us, it depends on if your parents, if you're a parent or if you babysit, a lot of you know Moana. The kids love Moana, right? In 2023, excuse me, 2023, across all platforms, it was recorded that the first Moana was the most streamed movie. Yes, Moana was the most streamed movie in 2023. So from my understanding, after that comes out, that was just last year. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I was talking to somebody and they said for some time, it's been up there as one of the most streamed movies since I best bet since Disney Plus has dropped. Dude, Moana 2 is going to be the biggest. It might dominate Inside Out 2. It might dominate Inside Out 2. That's how I feel about it. You've got kids that have seen it already, that love it and have watched it on repeat. And you take them to go see another version of this movie, another version with this character. Dog. I think it's gonna be bigger than Inside Out 2. In fact, the AMC CEO believes the same thing. He believes it's going to be bigger than Inside Out 2, which is the highest grossing movie of 2024, 652.9 million. I read that completely wrong. Actually, I think I did. I think I read that right. He thinks it's going to be bigger than Inside Out 2, which is also the highest grossing animated movie of all time. Right? So Moana is going to it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. They actually just released a video of a new song, and I sent it to my brother, and he's pumped. I respect my brother's opinion. I believe in it. I trust him, and he is excited. I did not watch it. I don't think I'm going to watch it yet. I think I want to be surprised. But he said this is a ballad, and it's slowed down, and it's going to be actually nasty. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for it. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So that's in about, I think we're about 2 or 3 weeks away now. We're about 3 weeks away. Yeah, we're about 3 weeks away. It's gonna come quick, and it's gonna come fast, and it's about to be a crazy weekend at the theaters. And I know the theaters are hungry for it. You've got three big time movies. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Scary movie. Some of y'all might not even know what Scary Movie is. Scary movie. It was I want to say it was the first of its kind. It was the first of its kind. Right? I think it took Actually, no, it was not the first of its kind, but it was in the scary movie realm. When it comes to horror movies, it took the idea of those spoof movies that you see, and it took all the scary movies and wrapped them into one. Scary Movie is coming back, and I'm pumped for it. It's going to be really good. I think it's going to be really cool seeing the Wayans brothers come back, and I don't know, they're going to put together, I think, something that's going to be really cool. And this is the first time, Sean Wayans, Marlon Wayans, and Keenan Wayans are reuniting in, like, I think 18 years, it says. Like 18 years, which is huge. So, scary movie. I'm excited. Spoof movies are fun. And again, I don't think I haven't seen the Wayans brothers do a lot lately. They, like, growing up, they used to do a whole bunch of movies. And so I'm excited to see them get back to scary movie. I'm excited to see them take the horror movies of today and put them in a spoof movie. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be fun. We'll see. I think comedy misses this family, the Wayans. It misses family. And for people who don't know the Wayans, or who need to know who the Wayans is, white chicks. That's all I gotta say is white chicks. Right? They've done a whole lot. They've been in a whole lot. I'm excited. I'm really excited for this movie. Really excited. So, and as far as I know, there's no release date yet, but I have to imagine they would get started on that real soon. And it could be a next year release. It could be. I feel like a movie like that doesn't take a lot of time to film, especially if you have a script. So we'll see. All right, one more. We got one more news. One more. This is not even news. This is more for. This is for the Batman, the Penguin crowd. There's a rumor going around that the Joker is rumored to be the villain in the Batman Part 3. I think the only really strong thoughts I have on that is that, not surprised, I expected it. They showed him in the first movie. So I think it'll be interesting to see how they make it more unique. The Joker has been done so many times now, right? He's a staple character in film and in cinema. So how do you make the Joker different, right? That's the question. And I think, knowing Matt Reeves, I'm pretty sure he is highly aware. He is highly aware of this character has been around for a minute now. How do I make it different, right? Barry Keoghan starred as the Joker in the Batman, and you saw little images of him in the Batman where he just looks really, really scarred up. It looks like they take maybe a little, I won't say complete inspiration. They didn't take that much inspiration from Heath Ledger's Joker, but it's definitely, you can tell from what you see, he's different. It's going to be different, but I'm interested to see how that's going to be played out, right? But we got to get to the Batman Part 2 first. I'm more excited about Part 2 right now until we see Part 2. I bet as soon as we see it, I'll get excited about Part 3. But Matt Reeves Batman, I'm excited. Penguin this weekend. Sunday is coming, guys, and we're going to do this episode. And I'm telling you, man, I'm excited about this finale. And I think this finale, it might hit some record high views. It really could, right? So don't forget, we're going to be talking about that episode. It's going to drop. I think it's going to drop on that Tuesday. Next Tuesday. It's going to drop on that Tuesday, and you're going to hear all your thoughts all of our thoughts on it. And I'm excited. I think we'll get the boys back. The boys should be back. And we're going to get everybody in this. And it's going to be a good episode, right? Right. That's on Sunday. I mean, yeah, the episode comes out on Sunday. Record on Monday, release on Tuesday. But we got to prepare for our big week. We have to prepare for our big week. Our big blockbuster action-packed week, and with Gladiator Part 2 coming out, it's only right if we watch Gladiator Part 1. It's only right? So, we're going to do a rewatch episode. We're going to talk about it. We're going to do a recap, throwback, and we're going to talk about Gladiator, which I'm excited because I have not seen Gladiator. I have not seen it. And so I'm excited to see this classic that everybody has talked about for time and time and time. I'm pumped. So we're gonna do a Gladiator rewatch episode possibly next week. I think that's what's gonna happen, either next week or the week after. And then we're also gonna do we gotta do it because why not? We're gonna do a Moana episode. We gotta do it. We've gotta do Moana. We're gonna do a Moana rewatch episode, and we're gonna talk about a little bit of the newest film, talk about our hopes for it, and for what we've seen from the trailers, and even clips from people if they've seen it and they've watched it. But then we're gonna talk about the original film and how it is easily one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. And I don't know if we're gonna do anything for Wicked. Could we watch The Wizard of Oz? We'll see. Maybe. I haven't seen The Wizard of Oz in years. Maybe I rewatched The Wiz. Maybe we'll watch The Wizard of Oz or The Wiz. One or two. I don't know. Wiz is a little different interpretation, which rest in peace to Quincy Jones. For people who don't know, Quincy Jones was responsible for a lot of Michael Jackson's music. He is influential to many, many, many. He was in a lot of spaces that a lot of people don't get a chance to be in. He was everywhere. It wasn't just in the music realm. He was in the film world. He was, might have even been in the sports world too. Like Quincy was just everywhere, and everybody knew who he was, right? And The Wiz was one of the movies he wrote the score on, and he killed it, and he's a legend. And he died on the 3rd. And so Quincy will be missed, and he's touched many, and his music is going to live on forever. He's touched and been involved with so many people that his music and his inspiration and who he was will always live on. So Quincy Jones, rest in peace. But might do something for Wicked, might not. We'll see. Stay tuned for the socials. Socials, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe on Twitter as well. That's where you're going to get all your info on Instagram and Twitter, and even some on that on TikTok. Right? All right. This was a successful episode. Can't even talk. Successful episode, but y'all, I appreciate all the love and support. And when I see you next time, we'll be talking about the Penguin. The Penguin finale, the finale, and I'm sad to see it go, but man, I hope it's worth it, and we're going to find out if it's worth it. So I will talk to y'all real soon. I'll be safe out here. Peace. Once again, thank y'all so much for joining me today on the Real Table Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and even comment. I want to hear your thoughts, and I want to hear your opinions. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at The Real Table Pod and on Twitter at The Real Table. And don't forget to also check me out on therealtable.com for news, articles, and reviews. I will see y'all soon. Peace.